There you go.
Are we live?
I think we are live. We are live from the stoop of Cathy Vartuli's secret lair somewhere in San Jose. I'm Reid from ReidAboutSex.com.
I'm Cathy Vartuli from theintimacydojo.com.
And you go to conferences. You go to sex education conferences, but you also go to scientific conferences as well because you're a scientist. So I'm curious if this advice that we're talking about today actually applies to sciency conferences as well.
A lot of it does.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
So we're in San Jose. Where are you? Where are you, oh faithful viewers, listeners? Leave a comment, and then let us know what you think about these bits of advice. So where do we start?
So we've done a couple videos on how to participate and add value at a conference. If you were presenting, but we wanted to do one on how you can add value and also build your reputation if you were attending, not necessarily presenting, but you can still. How can you?
So if you're not a speaker.
Yeah, if you're not a speaker.
Okay.
My cat is going crazy too.
Your cat doesn't go to conferences.
Maybe she's jealous.
Maybe your cat does go to conferences and doesn't tell you.
Possibly the catnip conference.
Ooh, wow.
So I'm going to steal a little bit from Reid's relationship advice.
You steal all my stuff. Give him some of your advice.
I'm going to, but I'm going to start with
Okay, start with stealing from me. Go ahead. I'll wait. Look at them. They're watching.
I'm attributing to you. But I'm going to translate it for this. One of the things you can decide is what's your intention? Why are you going to a conference? Reid asked, why are you going to be in a relationship? What do you want out of it? So if you know what you want out of a conference, that can really help you focus your energies. So are you going just to learn something new, hear different voices? Are you going to network or build your reputation or find people to collaborate with or maybe present at a conference next year with some of those people? So if you tune into that, it can really help you focus your time and energy. And one really good rule of thumb is that you don't have to go to every talk. I used to think I had to. I would run from one room to the next trying to get all the information, and I would just be so stressed and worn out at the end. It's okay to pick and choose, ask other people who's a good speaker, go to the ones that really interest you. I sometimes will sit near the back if I only have a few minutes and hear what I can. Or if it's not resonating with me, I'll slip out quietly and go to another talk and try to be really respectful because it takes a lot of courage to stand up there in front of people and share your stuff.
Sit in the back.
Yeah, but if something doesn't resonate for you or it's not adding value or you already know it, it's worthwhile going to someplace else and using that time. And I also like to add value in terms of if I'm trying to learn something. I want to sometimes retweeting or doing social media can help boost the signal for the conference and the people that are speaking, but it also helps me anchor what I said rather than taking notes in Dee Potts does this all the time. Rather than taking notes in a notebook, she just tweets at her audience, and then she tweets her own notes. She tweets her own notes with attribution for the speakers, and that anchors that for her. I have some more, but why don't you go ahead and share some?
There's some people that do Storify things where they'll take the tweets and put them together, assemble them together after an event or even just a digital event like Sex Talk Tuesday. We'll do Storify social media afterwards so you can kind of review. That would be the main tip that you could use at almost any conference. You can, if the conference itself doesn't have a hashtag for that specific talk, you could ask if there is a hashtag, so that then everybody who's live tweeting could be creating using the same hashtag, so you could be able to pull everything again for Storify. A lot of times you're creating value on site, and then there's value that lasts beyond the event. So when you come home, you could still over the next couple of weeks retweet things from the conference and keep the conversation going. That would be another way to add value. Those are the big ones. Other things is you can just go and you can compliment or acknowledge or appreciate the actual speakers, the things that were important. You can talk to them after, stop them in the hallway, and give them a compliment or thank you. Sometimes directly after they speak can be a little bit tricky because they may be swapping out the room for other people, and then there's always 3 or 4 people up there waiting to begin with. So things that you can do to help move the conference along and acknowledge the speakers later, or even acknowledge the organizers and tell them things that you liked about the event during the event. Filling out the surveys and stuff if they have them after the event is really helpful too, so that they can get information about what worked and what didn't. Those are other ways you can add value.
Yeah, and it's also it's really important if you appreciate something to tell people, because I think a lot of people don't realize if they're making a difference. And in the sex geek world, people are being really vulnerable and talking about difficult conversations, and just saying, hey, that really touched me, or whatever's true for you, can make a difference for people and help them feel filled up. I also like looking for other participants. You know, sometimes if I'm presenting a lot, I don't have a lot of time, but if I do, I try to look for someone who feels might be new or feeling a little bit shy and not sure how to be included, and invite them for coffee or invite them to join a group I'm in. I love how you always invite people to come, like someone who's nearby when you're taking a group selfie, you're like, come join us. And sometimes it's the little things that can help someone who's new or shy feel really included and valued. That can make a huge difference in them. Especially, it's kind of intimidating the first time you go to a conference. Like, you don't know who anybody is, you don't know where anything is, you don't know who to say hi to, and everyone else is like, oh my god, it's so great to see you, and you remember last year. And so just reaching out and including people, that can make a huge difference. The next year they might be like, oh my god, I remember you were so kind to me. Or you might find out they're a world's expert on something, and you're like, hey, let's do a conference together, or a talk together or something. One other sneaky trick I do, and I tell people I'm doing this, is if I missed a talk that I really wanted to hear, or there's a topic, say they're talking about something, they don't have time to go in depth on something, I'll ask them to do a YouTube video. I'll sometimes ask them right at the conference while it's warm, and then follow up and schedule afterwards and ask them to do talk a little bit more on the topic. So, and I'll even tell them, hey, I'm so sorry I missed your talk. I really wanted to know, would you be willing to talk about this and share it with my audience? And then just follow up and get it out there. So you get to learn more, you build a relationship. People tend to remember you if you do a video with them.
That's good.
And then you get the questions answered, which is really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sneaky. And then you get content for your YouTube channel.
Yeah. And after hours, social lunch and stuff, ask people, invite people. A lot of people are shy asking someone they don't know to go to lunch or coffee, but ask around if that's something you like to do. If your self-care needs are to go and hide in your room and order room service, I sometimes do that, and it's really fun. But just taking care of yourself and oh, hey, Dawn. Dawn said hi.
Hi, Dawn.
Yeah.
So like you can see that.
Yeah.
I know there's a phone there.
But inviting people, like I used to always, I'm really shy, and I always figured that people knew that I wanted to be included. And most people have no clue. If you're just sitting there quietly, they think you've got it either all together, or they don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. But I just started asking people, hey, I want to go to lunch, or you want to go to dinner. And even if they say no, they've made the overture, and they might ask you later or just remember you. And that's building relationships is a big part of why I go to conferences.
So if you're shy or awkward, just go see Cathy for lunch.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right?
Well, you can definitely ask.
You could also declare, you could ask if it's appropriate to do, like a lunch that's specifically for, sex workers, or specifically for shy people, or, people that are doing sex toy reviews or something like that.
Yeah, you can add value that way.
You could try to create like a little meetup or something like that. Some conferences will already have those going on, so you can ask, and if anyone's doing some sort of lunch for such and such, or breakfast get together for such and such. And again, if you're shy, that might not be your gig to announce that that's going to be going on. But if you ask ask the organizer if something like that is available,
or if
they could, help you team you up with somebody to put something like together, like that could also add value for those kinds of things. And if only 2 people show up, that's not a failure by any means.
Yeah. Annie, I'd love to go to lunch next time we're at a con. Thanks for the invitation. And I also like to tell the organizer, if I have time and bandwidth for it, is, if you need something, just let me know. Because sometimes they get overwhelmed, and if they know that, they can say, hey, can you help me with this thing? And if you're willing to help, because I'm shy, if I'm helping, I'm much less shy. I feel like I'm contributing. So, find your own sweet spots and what you need and offer that.
Yeah, maybe volunteering is your gig, or helping with something, so that you feel like you can connect with other people. Maybe just being like you don't want to volunteer, but you're coming in a day early anyway, or you live in that area. Do you need help with stuffing welcome bags or something like that? Or whatever. I mean, it's more about being creative and figuring out that there are things that you can do to make a conference more awesome for everyone, even for you as an attendee.
Yeah. So we hope this helps. Conferences are an amazing place to connect with other people, learn new things, hear things you might not have heard in that certain way. So we hope this helps you go and meet new people, make some great friends, and maybe next year you'll have your presentation up there and we'll all be watching you.
There you go. Awesome. And we're trying out a new tripod that Cathy has for the phone, which is, if you're wondering, like, why is the phone so steady? There's a tripod from Me Photo with an F, and I'll drop the link in the description because it's a pretty sexy looking
It's
tripod.
travel side type.
Very
Do
nice.
you want to show them? Do you want to take it out and show them?
No, we can put the link in. It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.